Welcome, everybody, to No Room for Comfort podcast. I am your host, Jesse Waterhouse, and I want to thank everyone for joining me here tonight. If you're watching this podcast tonight, I am live on YouTube and Twitch. You can also find me on Riverside FM if you want to go that route. But I also post my episodes on Spotify, and you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as well. I do have a Discord server if anyone wants to join chat on that. And if you have any questions about tonight's topic or previous episodes, or if you'd like to be a call-in guest, you can reach me at noroomforcomfortpodcast@gmail.com, and I would love to have that conversation with you. So, with that being said, let's kind of get into what we're going to get into tonight. And, you know, ever since I started this podcast, I began with, more like research-based topics to start it off. And I did that with the type of preparation that somebody would want to see at the start of a podcast, where you kind of think to yourself, if I'm going to be doing this, I kind of need to have something in front of me that's going to be able to enable me to talk clearly about everything that I want to say. And as I did that, I kind of noticed that, it took a little bit of humanity out of what I was trying to accomplish. And to break it down, the reason why I started this podcast in the first place is to reach people who are out there who may be feeling down, or maybe feel lost, or maybe feel like things are going on in their lives that overwhelm them, and they need a place to come to where they can listen and maybe hear things that they needed to hear that day, or maybe they needed to just need a little pick-me-up, or they needed something to help encourage them or make them feel some enthusiasm, or to spark a fire in them, or to give them a little bit of ambition, or feel something great about themselves. Because, we go through things in our lives, and there's a lot of people, especially in our country here in the United States, where people are feeling things on a level that is unprecedented in history. And the reason why I feel that way is because the unprecedented effect of it comes from the technology that surrounds us, and the amount of technology and information that we have to try and absorb during a single day. And then you see everything in retrospect, and you notice that everything is targeted towards lowering the attention span of individuals. And the reason why I say that is because, if you're out there and you're trying to monetize and you're trying to advertise and you're trying to market, it used to be like, okay, you hear it on the radio first, right? Way back then, it'd be radio ads. And these radio ads would go a certain length, but people would be doing their normal tasks. They wouldn't be fixated on they wouldn't be staring at the radio as the ad went on. They would just be hearing it, and it would be the marketing effect. And then came television, where the ads would be a certain length long. And that kind of began the process of the lowering of our attention span. But even then, it wasn't to a point to where it is now. Like right now, you see reels, and they're just like bam, 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 bam. And the thing is I cannot exclude myself from that. I post reels all the time. But the thing is I try to post reels that have important information that hopefully helps wind people down, slow their minds down, and gets them to step back and see like reflect. So when you see a reel from mine on social media and you're like, okay, well, I heard what he said. I listened to what he said. Now I'm going to set this phone down. I'm going to reflect on what he said because it's an important thing that I need to be self-aware of who I am, what I want to do in my life, who I want to be in my life, and the outcomes of it all. So when I first started this podcast, like I was saying, it's not that I scripted everything, but it was all of these research topics. And then I reflected on that, and I asked myself, well, okay, well, why am I doing that? Why do I have to be so accurate on what everybody else thinks? And I said to myself, no, because the only way that I'm really going to impact people, the way I want to impact people, to help people out, is to be able to speak from what I think, to be able to speak from my heart and my mind and how I feel, and hopefully I can get through and relate to people. And if I'm sitting there scouring the internet like everyone else, I'm no better than the attention span drawing algorithm that exists. So what I need to do is I need to be human, and I need to have a conversation. And I have to have conversations with myself. And sometimes in my mind, when I'm thinking these things through, I realize that I actually need to just come out and be myself 100% of the time. So I started dedicating myself to actually just, okay, well, I have a topic that I'm going to speak about, but the way I'm going to speak about my topic is just going to be off the cuff, off the mind, the way I feel, the way I see things. And the way I see things are going to be opinionated. The way I see things are going to be scrutinized by some. But that will come with the territory every single time. And that is a direct relationship to the topic that I'm going to speak tonight. And the topic I'm going to speak of tonight is the topic of confidence. Give me one moment here. I'm going to take these in-ears off, and I'm actually going to stuff them up my shirt. They keep falling down, so give me 1 second here. Okay, that's a little bit better. Thank you for your patience there. Yeah, I switched to these in-ears because, well, I'm going to be playing music again, so that's like the main part of it, but I figured I'd probably utilize them with this podcast because they stay out of the way. I don't have these big clunky things on my ears, and, actually I hear better with these. Like when I have these in, I'm locked in. There's no sound outside. They're fit to my ears. They're a really great asset. I love them, but there's a direct relationship, like I was saying, to the way I'm designing my podcast to do what I am doing with the topic tonight. And that topic is confidence. So it's not just confidence that you're feeling in the moment, but it is restoring confidence if you once had it and you feel that it is broken, and attaining it and sustaining it. So, it doesn't matter who you are as a human being. You're going to have moments in your life where you'll do something and your confidence will feel shattered, or you just won't have the confidence to do that. And what leads to that? Well, the first thought that I can think of that could lead to that is something dramatic that happens in your life. Say you are with somebody that you love and you're proud of, and all of a sudden, that person decides to wake up one day and they no longer love you. They wake up and they no longer love you, and they get together with you, and then they end up telling you, I don't love you anymore. I don't want this relationship anymore. I'm going to be moving out. I'm going to be moving on with my life. And say it's a 2-year relationship, right? 2 years is a long time. You've built a lot of memories. You built a lot of things with this person. And it doesn't matter the reason why they're going. But once it's all said and done, it could shatter your confidence. It can make you feel low. It can make you feel certain things like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? How could I have saved this? And those are all what ifs. And those are things that it's okay to briefly reflect on, but I feel that a person should move on with that. Because a lot of people will see that as a reason to get down on yourself, when in fact, it is an opportunity to learn about yourself and to learn about your confidence. And of course, it's natural to feel that your confidence is shaken or shattered, because not everybody is going to be the same. And after something like that, not everybody is going to feel that you're going to be able to be that same person with whoever you may find next. And in fact, whoever you may find next is not going to be in the reverie of your mind whatsoever at that point. But that is beside the point. But it is an opportunity to turn in on yourself and to get to know yourself better and to work on yourself and to love yourself and be yourself. Because if you stop searching at that point, it doesn't aggregate you to turn and to immediately try and find somebody or to get an ego and say, I'm going to upgrade. No, what it is an opportunity for you to reflect on yourself, learn about yourself, and build the confidence to just know that being yourself is going to draw the right person into your life. How do you restore that confidence? This is going to be a directive on a different matter. So, this isn't going to relate necessarily to a relationship. This is going to relate to maybe a mistake that you have made, or something that you thought you could do, and then it turns out that you weren't quite successful. Well, here is the thing. When you fail at something, you're going to learn more from that failure than if that were to be a success right off the bat. Because if you are to have that success right off the bat, I will tell you what, and of course, this is all opinionated on my experiences, but if you have that success right off the bat, it is very short-lived because you reach an obstacle that you weren't prepared for. And then you will fail. And then once you do fail, that reaction is going to determine whether you continue to succeed or if you accept the failure and move on with your life. And that's where confidence comes into play. Because if you do reach that initial failure, your first feeling is going to be shattered confidence. You're not going to be confident in being able to continue on to find a path towards success. But here's the thing. In all of my experience and all of the people that I have seen succeed in my life, there's one thing that I have noticed. That when you do fail, how do you restore confidence? You continue to practice and you continue to be yourself and you continue to gain experience at whatever it is that you desire or become obsessive about. Whatever vision you have about succeeding in that, whatever you feel about that, if your mind is fixated on that goal and becoming that and doing that, what is going to happen is that thought process is your mind is going to turn into this machine that is going to gravitate you in small steps over a long period of time, where you will begin researching, getting mentors, practicing over and over and over again what you need to do in order to be successful in the long term. And with that practice, after every misstep, after every trip, after every fall, after every failure, you're going to dust yourself off and continue because of that fire, because of that desire. And eventually, after all of that experience and all of that practice that you gain, you are going to restore confidence. And you're going to get to a place to where you find a breakthrough. And once you find a breakthrough, the important people in your life are going to notice that breakthrough. And that breakthrough noticed is going to be spread out. And by the end of it all, and you find your success, you will have restored confidence. So if you have a vision and you have a goal and you have a roadmap to your success and you're not feeling confident, think to yourself, I'm going to be able to do this. And then you ask yourself, how will I be able to do this? And your mind will do the work for you. And as long as you have discipline and you are able to continue working on it, those small steps that you do every day are going to build a mountain of an end result in your favor. So my advice to you is, when you're feeling down about it, when you're not feeling confident about it, that's all bullshit in the background. That's background noise. Keep going. Get up. Do what you're meant to do. Be who you're meant to be. Live how you're meant to live. And be yourself. Love yourself. Love the ones around you who are important to you. And have confidence in what you do. Have confidence in what you say. Don't overreact to stipulation. Don't overreact to the ones who are trying to bring you down. And whatever you are trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, I would also suggest doing it in silence. Now you would say, okay, I'm doing it in silence. How is that going to cooperate with my confidence? Well, I'll tell you something. In my experience, it does wonders for your confidence. And the reason why is if you work on yourself in a quiet manner, in silence, and you just do it for you, and you don't focus on all the background noise around you and all the people around you, if you do it for yourself, you are going to have less voices trying to sabotage what you are trying to accomplish. You're going to have less voices who give you excuses as to why it's not going to work for you. So would you feel that you would end up having more confidence in something if you were to work on something, see your progress, initiate it, and feel the success? Or you think about starting the process of your vision, and then you tell everyone, and then the ones around you that you tell give you every excuse in the world as to why it won't work. Oh man, you got a lot going on. You're not going to have enough time. Oh, well, gee, I've heard a lot of people trying to do that, and it really doesn't work out for them. Oh, yeah, I know you're trying to do that, but, haven't you tried that before and it really didn't work out for you? Or everybody's going to have a voice on something because they see you trying to be ambitious. They see you trying to succeed. They see you trying to do something better for yourself. And the thing is most people are stuck in this tiny little trap where, and it's not about that they don't have the things going on in their life that they want going on in their life, because everyone has beautiful things going on in their lives that if they looked in on it, they would realize it's something to appreciate very greatly. But the thing is people are going to want what they don't have. And if you're trying to reach the top of a mountain, they almost want you to bring them with them. And it's not, it's not like they hate you or they dislike you or anything. It's just they don't want to be left behind. It's almost the way I feel anytime that because I'm guilty of that too, as I've opened up to people about things that I've wanted to do. And the thing that happened to me is like I'll talk to people or I'll listen to people, and they will almost say certain things like, holy crap, you're doing something absurd, like outside the norm. And if you really take off with it, or if you excel with it and you become really successful, I almost feel like I'm going to be left behind. Like I'm on this step and you're on this step. And, and they either wish they had the time to do it, or they wish they had the ambition to do it, or they wish they had the setup to do it, or to figure out how to, whatever it may be. Well, it really doesn't matter. If you do it in silence and have your confidence in silence, you're going to be able to do great things for yourself without the worry of outside perspective. And that comes different from feedback. So you can get feedback from the experience, and honest positive, honest negative feedback, all of that are great things. They can teach you so much, but this is different from that. And it's kind of a tricky thing, but it's something that like I truly suggest to have when it comes to trying to realize your confidence. So you can't fixate on the things that are bringing you down either. So there are a lot of people who may feel that they won't be able to gain or restore confidence in something. And if it's really something that you don't desire doing any longer, the best thing for a person to do is probably just to let go of it. But you can't just let go of it and let everything be stale, from the way I feel. You can let go of it, but you have to try and find something that is going to light that fire in you again. Because I believe it's very important. So if you have confidence in whatever you're trying to do in life, it's very important to find that purpose. So with confidence, purpose go hand in hand. If you don't feel like you have a sense of purpose, you're not going to find the confidence to go along with it. Because without purpose, where is confidence? Whatever you're working on, you need to have the confidence to be able to do it. Everyone gets into situations, whether it be at work, whether it be in their relationships, whether it be in friendships, whatever it may be. Even a simple conversation with somebody is going to entail some form of confidence. Because sometimes people will ask you about things that they feel that you are going to know, because we can't all learn everything as human beings, like one individual to the next. You couldn't ask me how to be an expert ballerina. I'm probably one of the most clumsy people you will find. But it doesn't tear down my confidence. But if I wanted to learn something about being a ballerina, the best person to ask would be a ballerina. For example. And with that, the point I'm trying to make is everybody's going to have their skill sets, and people are going to come to you about those skill sets and ask you questions about it. And whatever you've experienced in life and that you can tell people, that is unrealized confidence coming out. I've got a good friend who's a really good drummer. I play drums. I'm a musician. I can play drums, but I am not unbelievable in the way I play drums, the way he is. He's an unbelievable drummer. If there's anything I'm looking to learn, he would be the person that I would ask. And he is so modest about it. He's just has this attitude about like, I can drum a little bit. I'm whatever. But the thing is subconsciously there's an enormous amount of confidence within him because of how well he knows his instrument, how well he knows his body, how well he knows his breath work, how well he knows melodies, how well he knows so much about music as a whole. And at the end result, even though that he may feel like it's just this hobby or this thing that he does, he has so much subconscious confidence about doing it that when he performs, and when I used to play in a band with him for 10 years, he would be the one that people would notice because is that good. And his subconscious confidence. And what did it take? It took repetition. It took practice. It took wanting to be what he wanted to be and becoming what he wanted to be. And it all circles around to the point that I made earlier about the experience in restoring confidence comes from the experience itself. And that's where people have to get to in order to want to be what they are. And it's a beautiful thing once you finally break through and feel it. Because it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to get to a point in your life where you're going to feel kind of down about how you've done something, or how you are doing something, or maybe even who you are as a person. But don't be unfair to yourself, because even though that you are at that point, at that moment in time, there is an important thing that you need to realize. The important thing is that is temporary. As long as you're willing to go back, work on it, gain the experience, and practice and work towards that goal. It is always temporary. You can't leave yourself in that place, no matter what. And it's also good to note that even the most confident people still have nerves. They're still a human being. There are times when I would go up on stage after playing 50 shows in the past. But, this would be a show where it's like, oh, I'm playing this iconic venue. I'm playing this venue where so many people who were famous before me have played. And now we drew a large crowd, and we're about to play in front of a lot of people. Well, this is different from the first time I played. First time I played, I was like, oof, I'm nervous. But we practiced well. We're going to play well. I ended up playing well. And we get to an iconic venue, and it's like, we played well for a long time now. We've practiced for a long time now. Why am I nervous? Well, I'm nervous because I reached that breakthrough. I feel like subconsciously in the back of my mind that, oh, maybe I'm on another level here with who I'm playing in front of. There's more people. They might be more critical because they might expect more. And all of those little voices in your head are chanting at you. But the thing is you got to turn around on them, and you got to realize it's like, well, I'm going to play how I'm going to play. I'm going to do how I'm going to do. But I've been practicing this for a long time, and I love what I do. So it doesn't matter what all these little voices in my head are trying to tell me. What really matters is, okay, I'm going to do what I always have done since the first show I've ever played. But I've been doing it for a long time now, so it must mean I'm getting better at it because I've been practicing it more and more and more. So I'm just going to go out there and do what I do, and I'm going to put on a good show. I'm going to perform well, and I hope everybody likes it. And if a lot of people don't like it, well, you know what? I'm still going to go out there and be confident, because I owe it to myself for the work that I've done to be confident in myself. What other people feel are out of my control. And what ended up turning out is a lot of people really enjoyed it. We ended up having a videographer from our label be there, and he ended up shooting a music video there and everything else, and caught us in a natural moment. So it's like, oh, we're not going to really tell you if he's going to be there or not, but we're going to catch you in your natural form. And it ended up being a really, really, really good show. And I am picking something specific that actually rattled my confidence. And then I ended up, as soon as that first note hit and the first line of that song hit, it was over from there. I felt the fire, I felt the crowd, I felt the connection, and all the worry and all the brittle confidence shakes that I had up to that point meant nothing, because it did mean nothing, because those little voices in my head got shut up real quick by what I have practiced. So with that being said, I really am grateful for anyone who is going to be on here to listen to what I have to say. And if anything that I did say really did impact you, please, let me know. Give me some feedback about this podcast. If you have any questions about this podcast, if you have any questions about wanting to be a calling guest, please email me at noroomforcomfortpodcast@gmail.com. Look me up on Spotify. Look me up on YouTube. I'm live here on YouTube and Twitch. I've got a Discord channel if you want to chat into that. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. See my videos. They'll go up on YouTube. They're not only live, but I'll also publish them. But thank you, everyone, for listening to me tonight, and you all have a good night. Thanks again.